People say sorry all the time. Perhaps they have made some mistake or there's some problem. But we overuse sorry so much that somewhere it loses its meaning. Today, we'll learn to say sorry in various situations using some alternate expressions that aptly convey the sorry as well as tells the other person how much you mean it. Now, I'm going to structure this lesson in various situations in which you might need to apologize. And as per the gravity of situation, whether the context is formal or informal, we are going to learn how to convey our apology in various situations. Welcome to Fluency Goals. I'm Mandeep, and together we'll achieve our goals to fluency. Number one is apologizing in the situations where there is a small problem that may have been created due to inadvertent error or some small mistake that was committed in your part. So these situations are very simple and very small, like you might have forgotten to convey a message to your friend, or you forgot to call your friend back, or you brought a wrong notebook on the wrong day for the wrong subject. So in such situations where the mistake is not very big and it doesn't have a huge impact, you could say, "My mistake, I didn't realize." You could use this phrase, "My mistake, I didn't realize," followed by the mistake. So you could say, "My mistake, I didn't realize it's Tuesday. I forgot to bring my English notebook. My apologies." So you might have forgotten to make the reservation where you have dinner with your friend or your colleague. So in such a situation, you could say, "My apologies. I'll call the restaurant right now and make that reservation." So you forgot to convey some message to your friend. You could say, "My bad. My bad." Now, where the phrase "my apologies" can be used in the formal context, "my bad" is used in informal context. So you could say, "My bad. I forgot to tell you that your friend called to say that he can't make it to the party." So use this when conversing with your friends or when you are in informal situations. Situation number two, where you have committed a more serious mistake. Now, when you commit some serious mistake and it has some serious impact, you want to convey to the other person a genuine apology. It's like showing the other person respect by acknowledging your mistake. Now, your apology in such situations has to come across as more meaningful, like you mean it and never intend to repeat the mistake again. So you could say, "I owe you an apology." "I owe you an apology" is a straightforward and sincere way to acknowledge that you have made a mistake or hurt someone and that you want to make things right. So you didn't invite a member of the family to an important family event. So you could say in such a situation, "I owe you an apology. I should have invited you to the event. You deserve to be a part of it as much as any other family member." In other situation where you might have spoken harshly to a colleague or a friend, you could say, "I want to apologize for my behavior earlier. I shouldn't have spoken to you in this manner." Sometimes there are situations where you have committed a mistake and you want to own the responsibility, the complete responsibility of the mistake. So in such situations, you could use the phrase, "I do apologize. It was entirely my fault." So let's say you accidentally send a wrong email to a wrong recipient. In such a situation, you could say, "I do apologize. It was entirely my fault. I mistakenly sent that email to you instead of the intended recipient." So let's say your instructions led to some misunderstanding in communication. In such a situation, you could use this phrase and say, "I do apologize. It was entirely my fault. I realize that now that the instructions were not clear." Now, another informal phrase that you can use is, "How can I make it up to you?" Now, this phrase is to be used when you have committed some mistake, you want to make it right. Let's say you forgot your friend's birthday and you want to apologize. You could say, "I'm really sorry for forgetting your birthday. How can I make it up to you?" So you could use this phrase when you can make the things right with some gesture of yours. Now, situation number three is very common when you say something that is hurtful or wrongful. Now, you can use the following phrases in these situations. I'm sorry, that wasn't very tactful of me. Now, this phrase can be used in the formal context as well as informal context. So you could say, I'm sorry, that wasn't very tactful of me. I didn't mean to offend you. I realize now that my comment was insensitive. I'm sorry, that wasn't very tactful of me to mention that. Another phrase that you can use is, I don't know what came over me. Now, you use this phrase when you have reacted in a manner that was surprising to the other person as well as to yourself, and you later realize that you have said something wrong and hurtful, then you can use this phrase. So let's say you shout and scream at somebody and later on you realize your behavior and then you apologize for that behavior. You could say, I don't know what came over me. I reacted completely out of character. I apologize for my outburst earlier. I don't know what came over me. Another phrase that you can use is, I had no right to take it out on you. So when you feel that you have vented your anger, you have projected your anger onto somebody else wherein it was not required and it was wrongful of you to do so, then you can use this phrase to say, please forgive me. I realize now that I had no right to take it out on you like that. Another phrase that you can use is, I deeply regret my choice of words. Now, this phrase is very formal and it can be used in the formal context, in the written as well as spoken communication. So, you could say, it was inexcusable of me to use those words. I deeply regret my choice of words. So, this phrase conveys that you are sincerely apologizing for saying something wrong to someone. So you can use it in formal as well as informal situations. I guess I overreacted. Now, this is a very informal phrase. You can use it with your friends, colleagues. So you could say, I'm sorry, I guess I overreacted. I didn't mean to make it a bigger deal than it was. But for more formal context, you could rephrase this as, I believe my reaction may have been disproportionate. So this means that you have overreacted at something. Now, another formal phrase that you can use to rephrase this is, I recognize that I may have overstepped my reaction. So in other words, this means that you have overreacted. So remember, the formal contexts are just not very direct, but they are more polite ways of saying something that you might say directly informal. Remember, whenever you apologize, your apology should come across as very sincere and it should convey the meaning rightly and suggest that you do not intend to repeat the mistake again. As long as it does that, you're good to go. So that was all about today's lesson. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. If you like this, please give a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends. And a humble request, do subscribe to my channel. It really helps. Thank you so much.